Happy Tutorial Tuesday! So, I'm excited for this one. I'm going to show you about this trend that has been started going on, I guess. Something that I've been doing personally for a long time, but I've seen a lot of people posting on YouTube, and my Y sister Natalie, and friend, but Y sister, she suggested that I do it for my video today, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you guys how I bake my concealer. I know it sounds kind of crazy, and you're thinking, like, oven? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? Just hang on, okay? Okay. So, baking your concealer is basically a really good way to make sure that your under eye area, or wherever you're concealing, really is in there and really has, like, really good staying power. It's going to stay looking good, like, all day. I mean, depends what kind of products you use, but still, you know, it just kind of is a very good way to just get the flawless look that you want. I'm not sure if you can see very well unless I zoom in. Can you see here? This is the eye I already did, all under here. And this is my skin knot. I mean, I don't have, like, these huge, like, issues to deal with anyways, because I've been doing a new kind of cleansing regimen. If you want to know, ask me, I'll tell you. So my skin's been pretty good, but I still like to do this. It just kind of helps you look really nice and glowy. So let's get on with this here. Let me zoom out so we can see a little bit better. Okay, now me personally, I like to use it's not even a concealer. I use 2 different liquid foundations on top of my regular foundation that I use on my face. I found that with my skin, if you guys have watched my videos before, I always talk about it. I have oily skin, and it's getting better with my new cleansing stuff that I do, but it still is oily. That's just how my skin is, especially it's been so humid here in Vermont. It's been like crazy. So, Hunter's yawning. He's so cute. Okay. So anyways, this is what I've been doing. Let me show you. First, I always do my foundation. And I think somebody's here. Hold on. Okay, hi. I'm back. Sorry. It was Dana. I don't know how. Like, my office, like my window, my studio window is facing the driveway, and somehow I missed him pulling in. So I was like, who am I hearing walking around? But it was him, so I had to say hi and welcome home. And yep, now we're back. So I'm going to do my foundation. I always do foundation first. My favorite way, some people like to just kind of pop it onto the sponge or whatever. I don't like to do that. I always just put it upside down, get a little bit, I think I got a little bit too much. I did the rest of my face clearly, so I'm just going to kind of do it on here like this, and you just kind of go around. My sponge could stand to be a little bit wetter, but it's okay. Now when you're going to be baking your concealer in, you want to avoid right here, because that's where you're going to be doing everything. You don't want to have, like, way too much and then have it get cakey, and baking it helps it stay and be more of an opaque finish. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but when you do want it to be a fuller coverage, it helps it stay there better without looking cakey like you've got like 50 different layers of makeup on. Okay. I always do my nose last. Boop, boop. Okay, it's like a clown nose. Okay. So anyways, that's done, and I like to just let it dry a little bit. This foundation dries very quickly. It's a lot of the matte foundations dry quickly. So, coffee. Alright, so now we do the powder. I use 3 different powders when I'm doing this. You don't have to. You can simplify it and use 1. I use 3 because I like the properties of each one, and pretty much I just kind of found that that's what works for me. You're going to find what works for you. If I'm only using 1, if I'm rushing out of the house but I still want to do this, if it's like a very humid day, then I will just use my CoverGirl, actually. I'm sitting here and I've got like Sephora, Makeup Forever, Unique, everything, you know, up to my eyeballs, but then I use my CoverGirl powder. So you're going to find whatever you like. This one is just the CoverGirl Professional. And then I have my Eyes, Lips, Face. This is what the lid looks like. Can you see it? There's stuff in it, so I can't tip it too much. But this is the Tone Correcting Yellow. The reason I use that is I tend to get some purpley red under here, and that just kind of helps contrast against it and kind of fade that yuckiness away. So, what I do, I take my CoverGirl and I tap a little bit in here. I've already got some in there from doing my other eye. And then I take the Eyes, Lips, Face one, tap more in, just equal parts. Put that down. I grab my fan brush. You can use whatever kind of brush you want. You can do fan brush, or is it even if you have a foundation brush. I don't think it's the best because it's so thick that you could lose a lot of powder in there and that just wastes product. But whatever, I mean, if that's what you have and that's what works for you, do it. If you've got a clean blush brush that you want to use, whatever works for you. As long as you can get up under here, like almost all the way into your lash line, I think that that's the best way that I've found to do it. So I mix the two, the yellow one and then the CoverGirl one. I mix them with my little brush. And then I grab some. Hold on, gotta scoop it up a little bit. No, this gets messy and it's supposed to, so don't fret. Oh yeah, I forgot. Make sure that you haven't creased under here. If you have, just pat it away. And then this is when you start loading it on. Here, let me change. There, can you see that better? I like to use the fan brush because after I have it on, I can smush it in there and make sure it's all into my skin, any kind of fine lines or anything. So then you leave that. This point is actually when I usually do my eye pigments, the colors. I don't usually do, and I do my liner, I don't usually do my mascara, just because I don't want to have like fresh wet mascara and then they get the light powder stuck in it and then, you know, your lashes look all like dusty and weird. And that's just a waste of fiber lashes, clearly, duh, right? So, let that bake for a minute. Normally, I let it go probably like 5 minutes or so, just so you know. I'm not going to sit here with you for 5 minutes, though, because I know that you guys are all busy. So then what I do, I take this, pretend the 5 minutes went by. Magic. Okay, so I have this little guy. It is also considered a concealer brush. You see all the powder coming off of it. But it is just a round dome brush. Oh, sorry. You see it? It's just a round dome. It's nice and soft, but still very dense bristles, which is what I like, what I suggest for most brushes. This is just an Eyes, Lips, Face one I got at Walmart, but I really like this one for blending out this kind of stuff. So what I do, I take that cap, which should have a tiny bit left in it, and I just swirl it all around in there and get some on there, and then I get to work with all the blending. Zoom in a little more for you. So I go way up there. And then I just kind of start going down. Once I know I've got that thicker layer off, I then take my fan brush and I just kind of sweep all over. And make sure that's good. Then the third powder that I use, you don't have to do this, I just like to use it. It's my favorite. It's Makeup Forever. And, oh, you see my lights? Beautiful. It's Makeup Forever, and it's the HD High Definition Pressed Powder. It's just white. It looks like chalk. It is so smooth. A lot of the HD ones are just very, very, very smooth. and I like that. Gives you a nice kind of airbrushed look. I'm trying to find my brush that I used to put it on with, but here it is. Here we go. I just had it and then I put it down. So then I just kind of swirl around and then I tap off if there's way too much excess. This is the same brush I used before. And then I go right under my eye. I just like this one. It's so smooth. It just kind of goes on top of any kind of, like, I have these weird, they're like, I don't know if I can zoom in enough for you to see. I'm not going to do it. But, I've got these, like, under here. They're not, like, clogged pores or anything, but they don't look almost like chicken pox, and it drives me absolutely batty. So, I've decided that this is my favorite powder for that. It really goes on nicely and smooths everything out. So, there's that. All done. That's how you bake your eyes. Do your foundation, then a thick thing of, not thick, but a good coverage of your concealer. Blend it out. I used my Beauty Blender. I like it the best for blending all that kind of stuff out. Make sure you get up in your lash line as much as you can. Put a bunch of loose translucent powder on, whatever kind you feel works the best for you. Let it sit for like 5 minutes-ish. Doesn't have to be that long if you don't have that long. You can just do like dust powder over. Then use a fan brush or light strokes with whatever brush you're using. Kind of just pull it off. I tend to go this way instead of this way because I don't need tons of powder right here and I don't want to end up looking cakey because I get oily here. So I do that, and I can hear Hunter snorting underneath the door wondering where Mommy is. Anyways, so I do that, and I will show you really quick how I do everything else. Where's my bronzer blush? Here we go. I use my Beachfront bronzer. I use it in Hermosa. It's just like a nice kind of medium, kind of deep terracotta color. Now this is my trick. I use it upside down. So when you have any excess that falls off, because sometimes brushes, the hairs on this basically aren't as soft as they could be, and if you have any excess, it falls right in here into the lid, and you can just scoop it right out and use it as if it's a loose powder. I store it upside down and everything. I'll show you what I do when I need to get more. So, there we go. And I like to blend it into my ear because I don't ever want to look like I've got that weird kind of bronzer, you know, makeup face going on. So then when you need to get more, I hold it like this. And then I go like this. And any of the excess that comes off goes right into the bottom. See? Can you see? I don't know if you can see. Anyways. So, there we go. I've already done up here. I'm going to do a little bit more. So there's that. Close it upside down. Store it upside down. And then I have my Moonstruck Minerals, my pressed blush. And I use Seductive. It's like a dark berry kind of color. It looks a lot darker in person. More pink. But so then I do that. And I just got the new blush brush. Oh my god, I love it. I think I'm going to start using it for bronzer. I love how it's angled and it's so soft. It'd probably be very good for contouring. I just haven't tried it yet. I've been using it for my blush. But so swirl around, do a little there. I already did that cheek, so I'm skipping it. But that's what I normally do my left side first because I'm such a lefty. And I like to work out with it so it's nice and blended. So there you go. That's it. That's how I bake my concealer in. Everybody's going to do it a little bit different. Find your own products that you like. That's what I like to do. Yeah, next time I'm going to do eyebrows. I was doing it, and then my phone decided to die. My phone that I use for my camera right now, the one that's doing this, it died. And I lost the entire 25-minute video. So that was a sign that it doesn't need to be 25 minutes long. So next time, I will do eyebrows. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. You're rocking my socks. Everything is so great lately. Like, I can't even explain, like, how awesome the support is. So, thanks for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and upload this now. And And like I always say, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. And I'll see you next week. Maybe sooner. I don't know.